It's been 4 months since the Nigerian Communications Commission confirmed issuance of the final letters of award of the 5th generation spectrum licenses to interested telecom service operators. And now, the technology, already live in most countries abroad, is up and running in Nigeria. However, one of the vendors, MTN, responsible for the rollout, is yet to fully implement 100% 4G coverage, and its CEO has only expressed optimism to reach 80% by the end of 2022 as the company switches its attention to 5G. Although the NCC did not say what the criteria for selecting those to handle the rollout of the latest network generation is, experts believe a vista of opportunities has been opened.
One of the benefits of 5G technology is that it has 100 times the capacity of 4G technology, theoretically. But basically, it holds the promise of being able to deliver high-quality broadband to more Nigerians than ever before.
The 5G has several frequencies that it can work on, from as low as 6 gigahertz to as high as 60 gigahertz. So any operator can work in any of these frequencies, and that gives them the opportunity to leverage the pipeline to now deliver services. Then the speed is a lot faster.
Industry analysts have also been clearing the air on the equipment to be used.
Most of the airports that will be close to 5G deployment have not been recalibrated for 5G towers or 5G radio emissions. So there might be some interference with already existing aviation transmission technologies.
When the Gs change, nothing changes about, you're still dealing with the same type of antenna. Now, what you may see is that there may be more antennas on the towers, and you may see them in more places. But that's because the level of service required to deliver simple voice versus high-speed video is very, very different. So the networks will get denser.
The health effects of the 5G technology on humans has always been a cause for concern for many, but those fears have been allayed by medical experts, including the WHO, which concluded that after much research performed, no adverse health effect has been causally linked with exposure to wireless technologies. Health-related conclusions are drawn from studies performed across the entire radio spectrum, and provided that the overall exposure remains below international guidelines, no consequences for public health are anticipated.
In fact, Aru, Adimora, and Nwanko, both three of them Nigerian researchers, they went to investigate this to see how much damage this could do to the human DNA, and they found that there's no substantial evidence to dictate or to say that there will be any harmful effect or any change to the human DNA.
Data from the Nigerian Communications Commission show that Nigeria's broadband penetration increased from 40.9% in February 2022 to 44.5% in July 2022. Now, this is a significant rise from what was obtainable 5 years ago, as penetration has grown from 19.78% in July 2017 to 44.5% in July 2022. But will this rollout aid Nigeria's target of 70% broadband penetration by 2025?
I would say no. We need to now ask ourselves the question, how does this now begin to affect the lives of the ordinary Nigerians? Because as it is now, the ordinary Nigerian can't even afford the devices to connect to the 5G network. I hope that we'll see that in a very short period of time, and I hope that it will be a collaborative effort, not the usual business model of competing against each other that we've been used to.
The NCC has listed limited frequencies with the required spectral efficiency, skilled professionals with requisite knowledge of the technology, fewer 5G-enabled devices, and cost of deployment, amongst others, as challenges that might be faced during the rollout phase. So far, the rollout has only taken effect in 190 sites spread across Abuja and Lagos, with the hope of spreading to other cities in the future when other telecommunications entities acquire the requisite equipment and license to roll out. Victor Matthias, Channels Television News.
To discuss this further, we have the Chief Executive Officer of Internet Exchange Point of Nigeria, Mr. Mohammed Rodman. A pleasure having you with us on the News at 10.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Now, how would you react to the rollout of this technology in Nigeria?
It's an excellent initiative by the regulators and the telecommunication companies that were licensed for this. I think this is a welcome development.
But how realistic is the deployment of 5G technology in the whole country?
Honestly, even as government, when they did the National Broadband Plan from 2020 to 2025, there was no 5G rollout in that because they mostly focused on 4G. As you know, 5G is the latest technology. It will take some years for us to have much coverage across Nigeria. If you remember, MTN started 4G in their network in 2016, and there was a telecommunication company called Smile that started operating on 4G in 2014. But unfortunately, up to now, I think we're around 60 to 70% coverage of the 4G network. So for 5G, I think it will take another years for us to see deployment of 5G. And considering the what is it called, the economic terrain of Nigeria, because this is a business. When they deploy 5G, they are looking for business, and 5G-enabled devices are expensive. The minimum you can get now is maybe $100 for a Chinese product. So therefore, is within is too expensive for Nigerians. Considering that 91 million Nigerians are below the poverty line based on the current statistics.
So you think that looking at the equipment is going to be really affordable for the man on the street?
No, I said it's too expensive.
Right.
The 5G devices, exactly. That's why right now they are focused in areas where people have high purchasing power, in Lagos, in Abuja, in Kano. In those areas specifically where they feel people can afford the data. It's not only about affording the devices, it's also affording the data, because you now have extremely high speed. How many Nigerians can subscribe to these huge data bundles? So if they are looking for quick return of investment, therefore they will start from the high-brow areas, urban areas, before they can now look at other areas where the general populace can use it.
But some people are still complaining about the 3G and 4G technology. What will you have to say about that? And now we're looking at the 5G. Do you think it's realistic?
No, as I said, you see, there are only two companies that are licensed in this. One is MTN, of course, the leading network in Nigeria, and Mohab Telecommunications, which do not have any infrastructure on ground for now. The reality is, for MTN, they are looking at a network of the future. They are planning towards that. But realistically, we should be looking at 3G and 4G across Nigeria, because that is what Nigerians can afford for now. And it's much cheaper to deploy than 5G, because 5G works on micro cell sites, and therefore you need to replicate a lot of cell sites across Nigeria. Where an existing cell site covers huge area of space, for 5G, it's just a micro cell site, maybe 100 meters squared radius, and therefore you need to deploy a lot of cell sites. And all over the world, there is security, there is electricity, and they use, for example, light poles, street light poles to deploy 5G. But in Nigeria, you can't do that because there is no electricity in those light poles. And therefore, there is also security consideration. So that is a major challenge. That's why for almost all the cell sites in Nigeria, they are protected with security. They have to take diesel to that, and diesel is expensive. They have to, in fact, protect the vehicles as they move the diesel to the cell site. So it's not going to be that realistic to deploy across Nigeria. So we should be a little bit patient. I think in a few years to come, 5G will become a bit dominant.
The Chief Executive Officer, Internet Exchange Point of Nigeria, Mr. Mohammed Rodman. A pleasure sharing your thoughts with us on the news at 10.
Thank you so much. Thank you.